This is Kim, the Humble Hermit from Come As You Are Oracle. I'm going to do the collective for today. Today is Saturday, June 28th, 2025. You may follow me on the Talk, the Tube, my blog, or not. Totally up to you. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it doesn't fit, don't make it fit. If some of it fits, fabulous. We love that for you. Whatever does not, please just leave it on the table for someone else. Okay? You don't need to take on energy that wasn't meant for you. Okay, I feel like my nose is itchy, and this drives me nuts. Because look at my ring. Now it's all wonky. Situation, love, oracle deck. I got this off Amazon like 2 years ago. Year and a half, 2 years ago. I think like $15, $16. And decks like these keep circulating with new covers, new writing format, new pictures, all that stuff. So it's like the same deck reimagined 50 times. Just saying. I like the pictures. We got 2 on the table. Three on the table. 4 on the table. Okay, for some reason, like, the right side of my head is, like, itching. Like, my forehead, my ear. Five on the table. All right, I'd like to know who this person is, because, yeah. We got 6 on the table. Let's do 2 more shuffles. Seven. 1 upside down. Let's do 1 last shuffle. I already did 2, I'm pretty sure, but we got 8 on the table, 1 reverse. 9 with bottom of the deck. I'm going to set this over here on the box. We've got engagement ring, self-indulgence, date, healthy choices, hammer, grounding, backstabbing in reverse, coffin, and bottom of the deck, seduction. Feminine, masculine, take how it resonates. It doesn't matter. So you or someone you were with, or this is someone you know, or someone was involved in something like this, you know them. Somebody was, if they weren't engaged to another person, they were in a commitment, like a long-term commitment. Like, if they had been dating and living together for like, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. This person, one of those people that was engaged or committed, was self indulging in dates with other people. This is someone with the healthy choice. Like, this is someone that needs to make better choices for themselves. This is someone that's not, or maybe they thought that they were looking for like a better choice, if that makes sense. Like, oh, I'm engaged to so and so, or I've been with so and so for so long, but let me date some other people because I don't know if that person is for me. I get it. I get it, right? Like, I was with my ex husband for 11 years. We were married for 7 of those 11 years. I have said before, I believe we should have never got married. We should have just been friends. Hindsight is 2020. Healing takes time. When you don't recognize what's right in front of your face, and it takes you years to process the fact that someone has been habitually lying to you, and the things that you did see, you put on the back burner because you so terribly wanted to love someone and have them love you back that you were willing to overlook things, even though at the end of the day, you realize, like, that's not what I want, and that's not what I want in my person. I get it. I get it. You get in a commitment with someone, you're together a few years. It's a commitment, right? Your family's me, your friends me, you build other relationships based on your relationship. I get it. If you have any type of inkling that that person is not for you, and you literally have such an inkling that you start going out on dates with other people just to see, baby, that's not an inkling. Like, that's your intuition. That is God telling you that's not your person. I was there. I understand. I understand. Looking back on that now, again, like, I should have never married my ex-husband. Don't get me wrong, I love him to death. I do. I will always love him. You know what I mean? I'm not in love with him, but I will always love him. But I never should have did that. I never should have taken it that far, knowing in the back of my mind, like, I really wasn't getting what I was looking for. He really wasn't what I wanted. And in the back of my mind, I also thought, like, oh, he'll change. Like, he's going to change. Again, people only change for themselves. People only change when they want to change, right? I changed. When I was in that relationship, I changed because I started healing myself. I started waking up. I started recognizing what I didn't want and what I really wanted. And I started recognizing how I fucked up that relationship. I took accountability for my place in that relationship, my role in that relationship, and how I fucked that up. And I realized this isn't even what I wanted. He's not going to change. And again, epiphany moment. He shouldn't have to. If I change, that's one thing, right? I can change. Like, I can change me. Tomorrow I could decide, like, I'm just going to wear dresses from now on. Every day I'm going to wear dresses, right? I can change. I can do that. That's within my threshold. That's within my mentality, my emotional space, my my body autonomy, whatever. Like, I can do that for myself. If I want to make that decision, if I want to make that change, I'm fully allowed to do that for myself. But I can't make someone else change, nor should they have to. He was the man. He was the man that I met. He was the man that I married. He was never going to change. And it took me like 10 years to realize that. I'm not kidding. It took me, 10 years to realize that. And that's okay. When he gets into his next relationship, he's the kind of guy that wants somebody to take care of him. And that's fine. Then he should look for somebody that wants to take care of him. Hopefully, that woman knows that that's what she wants to do, right? Because again, at the time, I thought, oh, yeah, I love taking care of people, blah, blah, blah. Like, and eventually he'll change, right? So, like, it'll be like 100, 50, however you look at a relationship. All of those instincts in me back then were based on trauma from childhood and how I was raised and how I experienced love and relationships. And I gave a lot. I gave a lot, and I still continue to give a lot to my friends, to my family, to my lovers. And oftentimes I get very little in return because I don't ask. I shouldn't have to ask. But that's the thing. Part of trauma bonding is you get into these relationships, and I'm a giver, and I get into relationships with takers. And in the past, I realized it too late, right? 10 years too late. I understand this. But if you have any type of inkling to where you feel like you need to go out on a date or two to see if there's anybody else out there for you, then you're not meant to be in a commitment with this other person. Whether this is you or someone else. Like, someone is not meant to be in a commitment with a person if they're going out on dates. So, again, it's not a healthy choice to lie and cheat on somebody. However, it is a healthy choice to recognize what you want in another person, what you need in another person. And if it's not in that person that you're committed to, then you need to break up with them and leave. However heartbreaking that might be for the both of you. Because you're just holding on to what? It's already a broken relationship. If you're in a commitment with another person, but you're dating other people to see if there's anyone better, the second you thought that person might not be the right person for you, the relationship is broken. Say something and leave. And I say that with nothing but love in my heart, because again, I was there. I was there. And I had a boyfriend before the ex-husband that was not a good relationship, and I didn't leave, and I should have just left because they were cheating on me. Like, and I knew, like, I had that inkling, I had that intuition, like they were cheating on me, and I still stayed. I mean, God, I could have ended up married to that idiot. They would have cheated on me the whole time. I probably would have gotten STD after STD. I probably would have birthed their kids for nothing. All because I'm afraid to let go? Afraid to let go of what? If they're not the right person for you, they're not the right person for you. You know it. You know it in here. You know it in here. You know it all over. Your whole body will tell you that they're not the right person for you. And again, I say that with nothing but love in my heart. This person is sabotaging themselves. They're sabotaging themselves because You have somebody here that's committed to you. You don't think they're right for you. You're looking for somebody else. Like, you need to be upfront and honest about the situation. You need to be upfront with this other person, this committed person. Because, like I said, the relationship is already broken then. And do you really feel like that person isn't the right person for you? Or do you have other people whispering in your ear? Or you know what I mean? Like, there's differences between having that intuition of like, this person's not for me, right? Because we get that with family, we get that with friends, strangers, you know. I mean, I was in retail for 20 years. I can't tell you how many people came in off the street to buy something, and I was like, ugh, I wouldn't want to be friends with that person. I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with that person. It's one thing to get the feeling, but if somebody else is whispering in your ear saying, hey, I don't think that person is good for you, and then you decide, oh, Susie said that Tammy's not good for me, I should go on a date with Tina and Jackie. Maybe they're good for me. You're sabotaging yourself. You have to ask yourself how you feel. Is that your feeling, or is somebody putting that onto you? Like, you really have to be in tune with yourself to know what you want, to know what you're looking for. That's why, when people get on healing journeys, and some readers, some professionals will say like, oh, you shouldn't be in a relationship until you figure your own shit out. I mean, I agree with that and I don't agree with that, right? You could already be in a marriage or a connection with somebody and you're trying to heal yourself. If you're single, okay, you're single. Should you not date because you're trying to heal yourself? I mean, I think that depends on person to person, but I don't think you should be getting into long-term connections when you don't know what you're looking for, when you don't know what you want, what you need, what you seek. And I've talked about this a lot of times with you guys. And it's just me being honest, and it's just me taking what I know from past relationships, what I've been through, what I've experienced, and knowing that I was in specific relationships with the ex-husband, the boyfriend before him, friends with benefits, casual, all that. Like, I know that I don't want someone that I have to take care of like a mommy. I'm not your mommy. And again, it doesn't matter, masculine, feminine. It doesn't matter. I'm not your mommy. I don't want to be with someone that can't hold down a job, that doesn't want to pay their own way, that thinks that life should just give them whatever they want because they've had a hard life. We've all had a hard life. We've all been put on this earth to have a hard life, to learn lessons, to grow, to challenge ourselves, right? I don't expect anybody to give me anything for free. I I can't. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I've been gifted a lot in my life. I've been blessed a lot in my life. But I never say, "Hey, you got money, give me $10,000." Who does that? An asshole does that. I'd rather go out there and earn that $10,000. And I expect my person to be the same way. I expect to be in a relationship where there's equal give and take. I expect each of us to put in 100%. It's kind of funny because I've said this before, and you can say I'm crazy or not crazy. It does. Everybody has their own opinion. But when I was married to the ex-husband, it was my understanding that I would take care of the inside of the house, the cleaning, the laundry, the dishes, and even most of the cooking. grocery shopping. I paid the mortgage. I paid for all the groceries. And I paid for other things as well. It was my understanding that he was going to take care of the outside of the house, mowing the lawn, taking care of the pool, upkeep of the deck and all that. And his father was a mechanic. He knew some mechanical things. I figured he could give our cars oil changes, things like that. Take out the trash would be nice, right? Yeah. We would share litter box duties for the cats because, they were our kids. And when I say that most of the time I got stuck doing all those things, I got stuck doing all those things. And he quite literally did most of the lawn mowing, even though there were 2 summers where I had to do the lawn mowing because he decided he needed to take off time from work for his foot. And failed to secure a nephew to mow the lawn for us or somebody else to mow the lawn for us. I would have paid somebody $20 to mow the lawn, but no, I had to mow the lawn because he couldn't figure out how to do that. I took out the trash most of the time. I took care of the cats most of the time. I took care of the pool most of the time. I had to figure out how to take care of the decks and all that stuff pretty much by myself. When women and or men are saying I do all the work in the relationship and my partner does nothing, and other people are like, "Oh, you're not really thinking about it. Like that's not true. Like you're overlooking things, this, that, and the other." Believe those people. Believe those people. Because there are people out there, lots of people out there that are takers and that will take advantage and will put in as little as possible into a connection because they're allowed to do so. And I just know going forward in future relationships, I'm not willing to put up with that bullshit. I don't want a person that doesn't like own their own home or have rent. Yeah, like if you're sleeping on somebody's couch, if you have a roommate at the age of 50, that might be a problem for me. Like I don't know that I don't know that I can do that. Especially if you've never lived on your own. If you went from your parents' house, had a roommate, in college, had a roommate after college, got married, got divorced, had a roommate. Like it screams like codependency. It screams like I can't handle it on my own. And I don't know that I could be with somebody like that. And again, these are just my personal preferences for a relationship. Like I know what I'm looking for in another person. I know what I need in another person to make us compatible, to make us in, a decent, cohesive, loving, caring, giving relationship. More than decent. I don't even know why I said decent. But you know what I'm saying. If you don't know what you want, if you're out there, relationship to relationship, dating and dating and dating and dating, not only are you sabotaging connections, you're sabotaging yourself. You're sabotaging yourself. What do you want? You literally got to think about it. And you really got to get in touch with yourself and be honest with yourself. What do you want in another person? And I've said this before in other readings, the 50s, the 60s, the 70-year-old men and women that are just out there dating because they can't get their shit together because they're not ready to settle down. And then all of a sudden at the age of 70, they're like, "Okay, I'm ready to settle down." Really? It took you 70 years to realize what you want in another person to settle down? And I'm a firm believer that there's a person out there for everybody. My ex-husband likes somebody to take care of him. He likes a mommy figure in his life. He could find one. There's plenty of women out there that would do that for him, that would love to do that, that's what they want to do. It's not me, but he could find a woman out there like that. He doesn't need to wait until he's 70. He doesn't need to play the field until he's 70. He could find that now if he wanted. You sabotage yourself when you don't know who you are and when you don't know what you want. And it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. Cuz it really just screams like, I don't want to put the work in. I don't want to put the work into myself. And that's sad. Everybody should want to work on themselves, better themselves, heal themselves, in whatever manner that means for you. Because not everybody's the same. Whoever this person is, they don't give off stability. This is somebody that needs to check themselves. They need to ground. They need to meditate. Again, they need to get in tune with themselves. They don't know who they are. Backstabbing in reverse. This person, and I'm just going to say it, and I know people would probably argue with this, and that's fine because I probably would argue with it myself, right? This person doesn't know what they want. This person is with another person and they're dating other people. They don't look at it like cheating or backstabbing. Like, this is somebody that's like, well, I'm not sure I want this person. I should be able to look and see if there's someone else better for me out there, someone I'm more in tune with. True, true. You are entitled to find your person, for sure. But that doesn't mean you get to keep somebody on the back burner while you go out there and sow your wild oats looking for your forever person. If that is the situation you're in, then this relationship is already broken. They're not your forever person. Cut them loose and go look for your forever person and get more in tune with yourself and know what you want. This person doesn't look at it like they're cheating or they're backstabbing because they believe they're doing something for themselves, for their, not self-care, but you know what I mean. Like they feel like they're doing something to enrich their life. And yeah, that is true. On that is true. But it's not fair, right? It's not right to hold somebody hostage while you look for someone else. Let that person go. Let them find their forever person. Because you're obviously not it, right? Here's the deal. When it comes down to it, whoever this person is that's dating while they're in a commitment, they're eventually going to move on. They're with the coffin card, they're eventually going to go on to a new beginning. Whether it blows up in their face and their committed person finds out they're cheating, they're dating, or whether they actually go to this person and say, "Hey, I'm sorry, I don't think you're the one for me. I want to date other people." The seduction card is here because if this person doesn't get their act together, if they don't know what they want, if they don't get more in tune with themselves, if they don't start making healthier choices for themselves, if they don't quit sabotaging themselves, they're going to fall prey to this. And that means they're going to be out there dating and they're going to keep being seduced by what they think they want because they don't know what they want. And it could also be like a mental clash, a mental emotional clash, if you know what I mean. Like, because sometimes we have it in our head right? That we're going to be with a certain type of person. Like your what do they call it? Your preference in a person. Now they're saying that your preference in a person is really your pattern, that you keep falling for the same person in a different body, that you should break away from your pattern, right? My past pattern was males, masculine energies with beards, bald, glasses, funny. Weight was really never a thing, but I like taller men. Like, it's a pattern. Now they're saying it's a pattern. Like, you're falling for the same type of man. Really, what you don't recognize is all the men you're falling for because they look similar. They're actually all similar on the inside. Like, you're falling for the man because you think that they look like what you want. But really, all these men, really, what they have in common is they're all the same on the inside. You just might not realize it till later. It's a pattern, not a preference. And it's kind of funny because since I've acknowledged that for myself, like, I've noticed that I've become more attractive to masculine energy in different forms. Like, and that's not to say I'm still not attracted to somebody, like, with a beard or glasses or someone that's bald. But I've also noticed that I'm attracted to, typically I liked older masculines. Now I find that I'm attracted to younger masculines. Now I find that when I'm attracted to older masculines, they don't look like that typical look that I used to like, right? Like, now they look different. They don't necessarily have a beard or wear glasses or are bald. Like, now my scope, my range, my tastes in other humans is changing because I recognized, oh, you really do have a pattern. Like, why are you always only looking at a certain type of person? And then it turns out that all these people on the inside are, and I don't want to say shitty humans, but they're all the same on the inside, and that's not what I want. They don't resonate with who I'm looking for. People often get seduced by what they see, and then they realize later that that person doesn't have the characteristics on the inside of what they want, right? Like if you're, and this is stereotypical. If you're a masculine and you want like a tall, leggy blonde that's like 10 to 15 years younger than you, but you date them, right? And you're dating them and you realize, like, we don't have anything in common, or like, I don't know that I like this person, or you start dating and you date all these leggy blondes and you realize, like, why are all these women that I get with shallow? Why are they all obsessed with their calorie intake? Why is it none of them, have children? Or, like, you realize again, like, you have a pattern. And if you break away from that pattern, you might actually find what you're really looking for in a package that you weren't necessarily looking for. I'm just saying. People are often seduced by the outside, not the inside. And when they find out what that person is like on the inside, by the time they figure it out, it's like, oh shit, I've been in a relationship with this person for a year and a half. Like, I didn't notice this before, but then they keep repeating the pattern. Or it could be the opposite, right? Like, I could be interested in people that are just funny. And I get into all these relationships with people that are funny. And then I realize at the end, like, yeah, they're all funny, but none of those people, like, can hold down a job. None of those people have ever owned their own home. None of those people have ever had a pet. None of those people know how to budget their money. You know what I mean? Like, you eventually wake up and you see the pattern. Whoever this person is, if they don't wake up, if they don't figure out what they really want, they're just going to keep falling into these same relationships over and over and over again. And every time they do, they're going to be left at the end thinking, well, this isn't my person. I need to look for someone else, And again, you're going to be 70 years old and still looking for your person. And don't get me wrong, I do realize that people out there, I mean, sometimes they don't ever find their person, right? Sometimes they have it in their head that they're looking for something and they never find them. I get it. I get it. But again, I think that a lot of times goes back to, what are you looking for? What do you want? What are you willing to give? What are you willing to put out there? Right? Because nobody's going to invest in you if there's nothing to invest in, you know? And again, example, I go online and I meet somebody online and we go out for a date and they're like, hey, can you come pick me up? No. Hey, we're going to go Dutch on this first meal. Are you going to pay for mine? Are you going to pay for mine? Hey, I don't have my own home. Can you drop me off at my friend Kenny's house? No, not a chauffeur. Like, I know what I want. I know what I don't want. I know what I'm willing to put up with. I know what I'm not willing to put up with. And I also have said before that when I left the ex-husband, I knew that there was a possibility I could technically be by myself for the rest of my life. And I've also said to a friend at work, I said it like a month and a half ago, I said, I've been through so much and I've done so much work on myself that I'm at the point where I don't know that anybody could meet my standards. Because the sad thing is, for most people out there, my standards are pretty high. And I don't even think my standards are that high. And it's funny because I watch friends at work, females, date, right? I'm 45. Women in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, they're out there dating, and they're dating men that, like I would not touch with a 10-foot pole, a 20-foot pole, a 50-foot pole. No, absolutely not. Nope. Like, a lot of these men don't have their own home. They don't have a place to live. Again, they sleep on their friend's couch, their family's basement. Like, they've never owned a home. They've never rented their own apartment. Men and women that, have never been married, they've never been in a long-term relationship. They don't know how to take care of their kids. They don't have relationships with their kids. They never have a car. They've never had a job for longer than a year or two. Like, and they just keep dating these same men and women over and over and over and over again. I don't get it. And I've said before, I'd rather be alone. I'd rather be by myself. Because again, I feel like I have standards and I'm not willing to compromise on certain things. Certain things, yes. Certain things, no. I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to leave it here because I could ramble on about this for like 10 days, 10 weeks, 10 years. I don't know. I could ramble on about this for forever. I hope the message resonated for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope, if anything, you found it entertaining. And I'll talk to you all later.